She laughed. OMG. You actually think you're the father during the gender reveal? I said, good point. When I pulled out the paternity test my PI gave me and her parents saw the results, the smoke wasn't the only thing dispersing. I, 32 male, am sitting in my car outside what used to be my home, hands still shaking a bit. The pink smoke from the gender reveal is probably still hanging in the backyard. Hell of a way to find out you're having a daughter, right? Let me back up. Been with Veronica for 4 years, living together for 2. We weren't trying for a baby, but when she told me she was pregnant 3 months ago, I was over the moon. Started planning everything. Converting the spare room to a nursery, researching car seats, the whole 9 yards. But something was off from the jump. Veronica kept making these weird comments. Like when I'd talk about teaching our kid to play guitar, she'd get this smirk and say, if they even have your musical talent. When I mentioned hoping the baby had my mom's eyes, she'd laugh and go, genetics are funny, aren't they? The real red flag? She suddenly became super protective of her phone. We used to be pretty open, knew each other's passcodes and everything. But suddenly she changed hers and would take her phone to the bathroom, flip it face down during dinner. Classic signs, I know, but I trusted her. Then came the planning for the gender reveal. Her idea, not mine. She went all out, hired a photographer, invited both our families, her whole friend group. About 60 people total. She kept joking it would be a party to remember. Yeah, she wasn't wrong about that. 2 weeks before the party, I was using her laptop to print some work documents when a notification popped up. Message from someone named Damien. Can't wait to see you tonight. Same place? My stomach dropped. I knew a Damien, just a friend from her gym who she'd been grabbing smoothies with after workouts. I'd met him once. Cocky dude with a trust fund and a Tesla who kept calling me buddy like we were pals. I didn't confront her. Instead, I did something I'm not proud of but don't regret. I hired a PI. Told him I needed to know if my pregnant girlfriend was cheating. He said he'd seen this story too many times and gave me his special package. Surveillance plus expedited DNA testing if needed. Took him 5 days to get the footage. Veronica and Damien at his apartment, multiple times. The PI also managed to get Damien's DNA from a discarded coffee cup. Don't ask me how that's legal, but apparently trash is fair game. Here's where it gets worse. The PI had a contact who could run a prenatal paternity test using Veronica's blood sample from her recent doctor's visit. How? Turns out the lab tech was his cousin. Again, probably not entirely legal, but I was past caring. The results came back yesterday. 99.97% probability that Damien is the father. 0% chance it's mine. So this morning, gender reveal day, I'm standing there watching Veronica play the glowing mother-to-be. Her parents are there, so proud. Her mom kept touching her belly saying, my first grandbaby. Her dad pulled me aside to tell me he's proud to have me as a son-in-law. We're not even engaged. The moment came. Veronica standing there with the smoke cannon, surrounded by everyone filming. She looked right at me and said it. Those exact words that I'll never forget. OMG, you actually think you're the father? Then she laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a cruel one. Her friends joined in. Even some of my family looked confused and uncomfortable. I pulled out the folder from my jacket. Good point, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. That's why I had this done. The yard went silent, except for some kid crying in the background. I opened it up and held it so her parents could see. Prenatal paternity test. Damien, her gym buddy, 99.97% match. Me, 0. Her mom gasped. Her dad's face went from confusion to rage, but not at me. He was staring at Veronica. Is this true? He demanded. Veronica went white. The smoke cannon went off in her hand, pink smoke everywhere. People started recording with their phones. The photographer was just clicking away on autopilot. Daddy, I can explain. She started. In front of everyone? Her mom shrieked. You humiliated this man in front of everyone? I didn't stick around for the fireworks. Just walked straight to my car. I could hear the shouting starting as I drove away. My phone's been going nuts, but I haven't looked at it yet. The house is in my name only. Bought it before we met. Already texted her that she has 72 hours to get her stuff out. Changed the locks an hour ago. Locksmith was surprisingly understanding when I explained the situation. I'm done. 4 years wasted. But at least I found out now instead of signing a birth certificate and finding out years later. We'll update when the dust settles. Update 1, wasn't planning to update this soon, but things have escalated beyond what I expected. First, thank you to everyone who reached out. To answer common questions, yes, the PI thing was probably sketchy legally, but I needed to know. No, I don't regret the public reveal. She chose to humiliate me publicly first. So here's what's happened. Day 1. After. Veronica showed up at the house with her sister and some friends to get her stuff. I wasn't there, stayed at my brother's place, but my security cameras caught everything. They tried to take the TV, claiming she paid half. She didn't. I have receipts. They also tried to take my grandmother's dining set, saying it was a gift to both of us. Also false. My grandma left it to me in her will before I even met Veronica. When they couldn't get in, changed locks, remember? They started a scene on the front lawn. Cops were called by neighbors. Officers made them leave. Day 2. I get a call from an unknown number. It's Damien. This mofo actually had the audacity to say, "Hey buddy, we need to talk man to man." I recorded the call, legal in my state for personal use. He went on about how these things happen and how I need to step up and be a real man because it takes a village. And he's not ready for that responsibility. I laughed. Actually laughed. Told him not my circus, not my monkeys, and hung up. Then Veronica's dad called. Different energy entirely. He apologized for his daughter, said he and his wife are disgusted by her behavior. Here's the kicker. They're cutting her off. Apparently, they've been helping with her student loans and car payments. Not anymore. Day 3, today. Woke up to 68 missed calls. Not from Veronica, she's blocked. From her friends, her sister, random numbers. The voicemails are wild. Everything from "you ruined her life" to "she's pregnant and alone" to "what kind of man abandons a pregnant woman?" But here's the best part. Remember the photographer from the gender reveal? He posted a teaser on his Instagram. It's the exact moment I pulled out the papers, with Veronica's shocked face in perfect focus. He tagged it "Drama Unfolds", #not the father, truth hurts. It went mini viral. 8.3K likes and climbing. Veronica tried to sue him to take it down. Turns out she signed a release allowing him to use the photos for his portfolio. She's now threatening to sue me for defamation. My lawyer, yes I got one, laughed and said truth is an absolute defense. Oh, and Damien, he blocked her too. Apparently he told her to take care of it, and when she refused, he said he's moving back to his parents' place in another state. Romance of the century, folks. The entitlement is off the charts. Her sister messaged me saying, "I'm still responsible because you acted like the father for 3 months." Her best friend said I should man up and raise the baby anyway because DNA doesn't make a father. My response? Screenshots of Veronica's cruel laugh and her words at the party, sent to anyone who contacts me. Shuts them up real quick. Tomorrow I'm meeting with my lawyer to make sure I'm fully protected. We'll update if anything else happens. Update 2. This will probably be my last update because I'm ready to move on, but y'all deserve to know how this train wreck finally crashed. After my last post, things got absolutely unhinged. Veronica went full nuclear. First, she tried to claim common law marriage to get rights to the house. Problem? Our state doesn't recognize common law marriage. Her lawyer, turns out it was just some paralegal friend, didn't even check that basic fact. When that failed, she started telling people I was abusive, and that's why she sought comfort elsewhere. Several of her friends posted about it on social media, calling me a monster. Big mistake. Remember those security cameras I mentioned? They also record audio. I had 18 months of footage showing her screaming at me over everything from not loading the dishwasher her way to me working late. One video shows her throwing a plate at my head because I forgot to pick up her dry cleaning. Another shows her calling me a pathetic loser for wanting to spend Thanksgiving with my family instead of going to her friend's party. My lawyer suggested we send a cease and desist with some choice clips attached. The posts disappeared within hours, but the real entertainment came from an unexpected source, Damien's girlfriend. Yeah, you read that right? Girlfriend. This woman, Teresa, reached out to me on social media. Turns out Damien's been with her for 2 years. She had no idea about Veronica until the gender reveal photos went viral and someone tagged her. Teresa was furious but smart. She'd been documenting everything because she suspected him of cheating before. She shared their text conversations with me, where Damien called Veronica some clingy chick from the gym and said the baby probably isn't even mine, she's been with half the gym. I forwarded those to Veronica's parents. Her dad called me an hour later, barely able to speak through his rage. Here's where Veronica really messed up. She decided to come to my workplace to talk. She made a scene in the lobby, crying about being pregnant and abandoned, trying to get my coworkers on her side. Security had to escort her out. My boss called me in, concerned. I showed him the paternity test and explained the situation. He was surprisingly cool about it, even said his brother went through something similar. But Veronica didn't stop there. She came back the next day with a group of her friends, trying to stage some kind of intervention. They had signs. One said, "Deadbeat dad" with my photo. Another said, "DNA doesn't determine a dad." This time, security called the cops. Veronica and 2 of her friends were arrested for trespassing. My company is now pursuing a restraining order on my behalf. The aftermath: Veronica's parents paid for her bail but told her she's on her own after that. She had to move back in with them temporarily, but they gave her 30 days to find her own place. Damien completely ghosted, changed his number, deleted his socials, everything. His girlfriend Teresa is suing him for emotional distress. They had a shared apartment lease he just abandoned. The gym banned Veronica after several members complained about her causing drama there. Apparently, she confronted multiple women asking if they'd slept with Damien. Last I heard through the grapevine, Veronica is working double shifts at her job to afford a studio apartment. Her car got repossessed last week. Her parents were making the payments, remember? She's been trying to get Damien to pay child support, but can't even serve him papers because no one knows where he went. My favorite part? Her own friends started distancing themselves after the workplace incident. One of them actually reached out to apologize to me, saying she had no idea about the cheating and was horrified by Veronica's behavior. As for me, I'm doing okay. Therapy is helping. My family has been incredible. My mom even sent Veronica's mom a sympathy card for the loss of her daughter's integrity. Petty? Yes. Satisfying? Absolutely. I'm selling the house. Too many memories, and frankly, I want a fresh start. Already got an offer above asking price. The funniest twist? The photographer who posted the gender reveal disaster? He got hired for 3 weddings and a corporate event from the viral exposure. He sent me a thank you card and a bottle of nice whiskey. To everyone saying I was too harsh, she literally tried to baby trap me with another man's child while publicly humiliating me. She chose cruelty, and she chose it publicly. All I did was hand her the consequences she created. To those going through something similar, trust your gut. Document everything, and never ever ignore red flags just because you love someone. I'm logging off this account now. Time to move forward. Thanks for following along on this wild ride. Peace out. Final update. I know I said I was done, but I had to share this last bit because it's the perfect ending to this saga. Veronica had her baby last week. Found out through Instagram. One of her former friends who still follows her posted about it. Here's the thing. The baby looks exactly like Damien. I mean, identical. Same distinctive nose, same unusually bright green eyes, even the same weird, attached earlobes. There's literally no denying it. But that's not even the wildest part. Damien's parents reached out to me. Yeah, you read that right. They'd hired their own PI to track down their son after Teresa told them about the baby. They're apparently wealthy, old money types, and were horrified their son abandoned his child. They wanted to know if I'd be willing to provide a statement for their lawyer about the paternity test and Veronica's behavior. Why? They're suing for grandparent rights and partial custody. They also plan to force Damien to pay child support once they track him down. Apparently, he's hiding at some meditation retreat, living off his trust fund. I gave them everything. The test results, the recording of Damien calling me, screenshots of Veronica's admission, the whole package. But here's where Veronica's entitlement hit its peak. She called me from her mom's phone, sobbing, begging me to lie and say the test was fake. She actually said, and I quote, "You owe me this for abandoning me while I was pregnant." The audacity. I reminded her that she cheated, she lied, she tried to commit paternity fraud, and she chose to humiliate me publicly. Her response? "But I chose you to be the father. That should count for something." I just hung up. Last update from her dad. They're supporting Damien's parents in the custody case. They love their granddaughter but don't trust Veronica to raise her properly alone. The baby will be well cared for between both sets of grandparents. Veronica is now working 3 jobs to afford a lawyer to fight the grandparent rights case. The same friends who protested at my workplace are nowhere to be found. Me? I closed on the house sale yesterday. Moving to a different city next month for a fresh start. Already got a job lined up, better pay, better position. My brother sent me a photo from the bar last night. They have a drink special called Not the Father, blue cocktail with a DNA test stirrer. The bartender created it after hearing about my story. I'm oddly proud of leaving this legacy. To Veronica, if you're reading this, you played yourself. You had a good man who was excited to raise a child with you, and you threw it away for a gym fling with a trust fund baby who wouldn't even stick around. You chose chaos, and chaos is what you got. To everyone else, I'm really done now. Starting my new life drama-free. Signing off for good.